Hey guys, it's Joshua Reviews. It's Christmas Eve. Christmas is tomorrow. Oh man. Guys, it's my favorite time of the year. My favorite holiday. So much to be thankful for, so much to just celebrate. Plus the presents, the atmosphere, the Christmas cookies, just everything. And who can forget spending time with your loved ones? So, Christmas Eve is kind of that day where you prepare for Christmas and you kind of get excited for it. So I thought, what better way to celebrate Christmas Eve than to take a look at a movie like The Children. So this movie was not easy to find. I had to go on a website and find this movie. And even then, the quality wasn't in the best format. It wasn't in the best format. So, might want to find a better copy of it next time when I watch it. Because, okay, so The Children. What is it about? Well, this movie kind of reminds me of movies like P.T., Dead End, P2, not P.T., that's the horror game. P2 and Dead End, where those movies are Christmas horror films, but the Christmas is more the backdrop, even though they still count, of course. So that's kind of this movie. The movie is about a bunch of family members getting together on Christmas, and one of the kids is very sick, and over the course of like a day or two, the kids start to get infected with this sort of disease that makes them go cuckoo, and they start killing the parents. And it's in brutal ways. Like, they don't shy away from the violence in this movie. And right off the bat, I was on board with the concept. I was like, this is awesome. I want to know where this goes. I want to see how this all plays out. And this movie takes some directions. And I mean that in the best way. And I'm not like oh my God, it takes some weird it's weird. It's a weird concept. This is, children killing their parents and whatnot. But man, right off the bat, the movie, you just get this feeling something's not right. And after 20 minutes to, getting to know the characters and kind of what's going on and getting a feel for who everyone is, because, that's how it typically goes in movies. One of the family members, I won't specify which one, but one of them dies in a pretty creative, tension build-up scene. I worded that so wrong, but in a scene that is well built up. Like, the tension getting there to that payoff, the tension is great. Like the way they handle it, the build-up is great, and the payoff is great. You, let's just say it involves a sled and I forget what it's called, but it's that gardening thing where it has like the spikes on it. Not a rake. It's the small one. It has the spikes on it, and yeah. So one of the family members gets killed on that, and they're like, "Oh my God, what?" But it's an accident. So you're like, "Oh, okay." So the family members think it's an accident, and they're like, "Okay, how do we, what are we gonna do?" So because of the storm, they can't leave. So logical explanation for why they can't just leave, and they don't suspect the kids, even though we as the audience know something's not right, especially with a title like The Children. And after that, things just get chaotic. Like, there is no moment of rest. Like, kids are dying, adults are dying, parents are dying, teenagers are dying, and from there on out, it's just like, okay, how is this all going to end? How is this all going to unfold? And I really like the balance between, characters, don't know what's going on, but they also do. Do they suspect the kids? One of the characters that figures out right away, it's the kids doing this. She's trying to get everyone to buy her story that, the kids are doing this, and they're like, the kids can't do that. They're harmless. I mean, they don't directly say that, but, they're kind of like, I don't want to believe it's my child doing these heinous acts until, they see the kids committing these heinous acts. And the interesting thing about this movie is that they don't really go they don't go in detail as to what is making them do this. Like, it could be a virus, it could be something else. We don't know. All we know is that we see the kids kind of puking and like getting mucus. So we're led on to believe it's a virus, but there could be something else other than that, because the ending seems to imply a few other things are going on here, but it's left ambiguous. They never really like specify it's a disease. And that leads me to my only kind of criticism. I could kind of predict where this movie was going to go. I knew who was going to die, who was going to live, how this movie was going to end. And when it got to the ending, they kind of played off as like this big twist. Like, I'm talking the very end. And I was like, oh, I kind of already figured that was going to happen. It wasn't like something I was like, oh, this movie was awful because I predicted it. But it's just like, it's just something you notice. Like, I feel that way about certain films. Like, even if I know where a movie's going to go, it's like, okay, how did that ruin my enjoyment for this film? Because this film was a lot of fun to watch. I was like, ooh, that's creepy. I'm like, ooh, that's intense, I wasn't going like, this is boring. I'm going to turn this off. There wasn't a dull moment, in my opinion. A lot of the character decisions felt natural, they made the right decisions, in my opinion. There wasn't no. Okay, if a character does make a dumb decision in this film, because maybe there's one or two decisions that are like, okay, that's questionable, you at least understand the motivation. So it's like, okay, I understand why they made that decision. Like the dad suspects the daughter is like going crazy because no one believes her story. And so he takes his daughter and they drive away with the only car they have, which, they could have taken the car to get out of there to begin with, but they were kind of like, we need to wait for the police. And so again, like I said, the motivations make sense. There isn't like, okay. And don't give me that like, oh, if I was in that situation, I would have done it different. It's like, bro, this is a scenario that would not happen in real life. Kids would not be killing their family members, in this way. Like this is a movie thing. Don't give me that, oh, I would have done this differently. Like, bro, you have no idea. When you're put in that fight or flight situation, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Because I've been a handful of those situations, and let me tell you, I did not choose to fight. I am not a fighter. I am a get the fuck out kind of guy. But that being said, I thought the characters' motivations made sense. I didn't think there was like, oh, that was stupid. I wouldn't have done that. So, and the characters were likable. They're not groundbreaking by any means. This is definitely an mid 2000s movie. You can tell that by the quality. I guess my only real other issue is that it's really fucking short. It's really short, and the movie picks up, and that's a good thing. But I feel like there are some areas where they don't go all the way. Like the kills are well handled, and some of the decisions, it's like, okay, they did what they could, but at the same time, there also feels like something else that's kind of missing. Like I could see this movie blending into a bunch of other horror films, and you kind of forget about it. Like nothing makes this movie stand out. You know what I mean? A movie like Dead End, where they're, driving in an endless loop. That movie stands out because of the characters and the scenario. And, well, something like that maybe has been done. The way that movie's handled, you're just like, whoa, that stood out, from all the other films. This movie, it's like, there are plenty of horror movies where the kids turn evil. But, this one's got a snowy atmosphere, some Christmas mood, but nothing else is really, making it stand out, There's nothing in this movie that's like, wow, I'm going to remember that. That's the best way I can describe it. There's nothing memorable about this movie. But it is a fun watch, and I still did really enjoy it. So I'm going to give it I'm stuck between a B+ and an A-. I think I'm going to be generous and give it an A-, but a B+ feels more logistical. But I'm going to say A-. So, yeah, fun movie. Anyways, and if you can find it, because this movie's hard to find. Anyways, Christmas is tomorrow. Stay tuned. I got 2 reviews lined up for you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned.